Meanwhile, today, the Biden-Harris campaign is releasing an ad that focuses on the issue of abortion rights. Here's part of it.
2 years ago, I became pregnant with a baby I desperately wanted. During a routine ultrasound, I learned that the fetus would have a fatal condition and never survive. I had to flee my own state to receive treatment. I think Donald Trump bears an incredible amount of responsibility for these restrictive laws. We need leaders that will protect our rights and not take them away. And that's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Joining us now, Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. She is national co-chair for the Biden-Harris 2024 campaign. Thanks so much for being on this morning. We'll talk football in just a second, but I want to start with this issue. And it's so serious, and it's not just about reproductive rights and freedom, but literally, as Daniela has pointed out, and we just saw in that spot, it's about health care. It's about being able to save our life and future fertility in the event of an obstetric emergency. Do you think the strategy will be to try and explain that to voters, to take it beyond the word reproductive rights? It's almost like a right for our lives, right to life for women.
Absolutely. And I would submit that this isn't just playing out in states. This is a national issue. I was asked over the weekend, is this just going to be pertinent in the 9 states that have issues before them at the state level? And I said, no, abortion rights are very much at risk in all 50 states, even a state like Michigan, where we eviscerated the 1931 ban and without exceptions, and we made strides in terms of making access affordable and easier for women in Michigan. That could all be lost if we had a national abortion ban, and there's no question that each of the Republican candidates for president has said that's something they support. So this isn't over, even in a state like mine where we've made such great strides.
Right, right. You know, your state has made great strides. I'm curious if you are seeing more of an understanding as to what this is about since Roe was overturned and since we had some of these high-profile cases where women are being asked to bleed out in parking lots and losing their fertility. It goes on and on. The nightmares that women face when abortion health care is not provided for them, because it's not just about getting abortions, about getting the care around terminating a pregnancy, a DNC, all sorts of things that have to do with trying to keep the mother alive, trying not to torture the mother, literally, physically, and mentally. And I just wonder if you're seeing a deeper understanding among female and male constituents as to what this is about.
Yes, and I can tell you that when we had our opportunity to amend our Constitution in Michigan last election cycle, we did roundtables all across the state. And there were moments where women shared incredibly personal, vulnerable moments in their lives that were so difficult. But I'll never forget a woman sitting across the table from me and saying, I did not vote for you last time. I am not a Democrat. I'm a Republican. But you're the only one fighting for my daughter's rights to make their own decisions about their bodies. So I'm not just here to talk about this. I'm out knocking doors for the ballot initiative. I'm knocking doors for you, someone I didn't support just 4 years ago. So I do think that people understand this is deeply personal, and no politician should be making that choice for American women. It should be theirs, their families, and with advice from their healthcare provider.
Kamala Harris is going to be very focused on this as she hits the campaign trail, already is, giving voice to this issue. What's your message for women across the country? We had Josh Shapiro on last week, and I kind of loved his answer when I think everybody was like, Joe Biden's not doing enough. Joe Biden isn't punching back. And Shapiro was like, why don't you guys get your butt out there? Everybody. Isn't this kind of a moment in our history where it's all hands on deck? Whether you're talking about abortion or, I don't know, democracy, the Constitution, rule of law.
It has to be all hands on deck, Mika. I mean, it's hard to believe we are once again at this dire moment where we have to galvanize everyone to hold on to fundamental rights of voting, fundamental rights to be equal under the law, to make your own decisions about your bodies. Things we thought had been litigated and secured are very much still at risk, and every one of us has to be a part of that. I'm so emboldened and excited by what I saw happen in Ohio last year, a very red state, that neighbor's mine, where women were coming from to Michigan to get this fundamental care. They bucked everyone in leadership and demanded their rights and made their voices heard loud and clear. But it's not settled. We got more work to do, and everyone's got to be a part of coming out and ensuring that our country doesn't go backwards.